Hey everyone, welcome back to the RetroBreak Podcast. Today I thought I would take a little bit of time out to have a look at the state of the channel so far in 2023. The last time I did one of these analysis-style podcasts was back in December last year, where I was looking ahead as to what I wanted to get out of 2023 and a look back at the year before. So as we're just more than halfway through the year, I thought now would be a good time to take a look at how the channel's actually doing. And although I kind of have a sad kind of title for this episode, and we'll get into that, we'll get into why I was potentially planning on quitting YouTube after how bad it was going at the start of the year, I have to say that the tide has turned and now I'm actually feeling more confident and more enthusiastic about YouTube than ever before. And we'll get into all of that. But first, let me go over the stats for the year so far. And this is comparing it with the same time frame from the year before. So views so far this year from January the 1st to August the 17th are actually up 141% compared to the same time last year, with 1.3 million views, which is actually insane. I never thought I would see over 1 million views for half a year. That's just ridiculous. Watch time's also up, obviously. And more importantly, for me, as a metric for patting myself on the back more than anything, but subscribers, I've actually made more than 10,000 subscribers already this year. So that is incredible. My goal for the end of the year, though, was to try and get 50,000, and I am still quite a way off that. As the time of recording, I'm on 33,000, so we'll see whether the plans that I talk about a bit later on can actually help me get to that goal. We'll see. And while we're being transparent, if we want to know the revenue for the year as well, so far this year I have made £2,733, and most of that actually went on the new camera that I got, the Sony a7S III, which I absolutely love. It's probably one of the best purchases I've ever made, honestly, and I can't believe that it's thanks to YouTube that I can actually afford to buy technology like that I could have only dreamed of just years ago. It truly is incredible. So before we start getting into the depths of this episode, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched me over the past year and beyond. Obviously, I've been on here a lot more than a year, but just this year in general has really shown me the potential, if I put my mind to it and if I make the right kind of videos, that I can possibly go full-time one day. Obviously, it's still a long way off that possibility yet, but there's no reason why it can't be reality. So there we go. At a glance, that is what 2023 has been like so far, but I want to go into a lot more detail. So let's have a look at some of the notes that I've got here. So I've actually been writing down all the videos that I've made this year, and unfortunately, I've also been color coding them as I go to see whether I actually enjoyed making them or not, and to see whether they're the kind of video that I would like to make again in the future. And unfortunately, out of the 32 videos that I've made since the start of this year, 14 of those I didn't want to make, and only 9 am I actually proud of. And the main reason for that is that at the start of the year, and this has been an issue for me for a long time, but I've really struggled with saying no to people. So a lot of the videos that I didn't want to make this year are because I'd agreed to do reviews for games or to review hardware that I wasn't truly interested or invested in. And I think that can come through in the video as well. So a lot of these ones that I've highlighted in red here, I've barely got any subscribers or any growth from the channel at all outside of the regular audience. And I'm not going to name specific videos because I don't want to upset people, but let's just say that things are going to change. And I'm really glad that I actually thought long and hard about this to actually see where I want to take the channel. And this was really bugging me about halfway through the year. I was getting so down about things turning through the post. Usually I would be excited, but things were coming through the post. I was getting emails in my RetroBreak inbox asking me to review stuff, and I'd feel so bad for saying no. So I would accept all these different games and they would come through the post, and then eventually I ended up getting this horrible sinking feeling every time the postman delivered something, and I really didn't understand why, because I thought I should be excited about receiving these free games, you know, like it's a dream that a lot of people have, to get to this stage where people trust your opinion on things and want to send you stuff. But all I could feel as I was opening these boxes was just a mix of regret and sort of frustration that it was going to push me further away from the kind of content that I actually wanted to make. So in May this year, I put my foot down after a long, hard think and actually wrote a blog post over on my website. And I'll read you a little bit of that now, and you can kind of get an idea as to where my head's at and where it's actually stayed today. So this is still relevant. So basically what I said here was that, yeah, a lot of people have been sending me messages. They've been asking me for feedback on games and demos. They've been sending me stuff to do reviews for on the channel. And yeah, while all this is really good, it is starting to get a bit overwhelming. And the entire channel kind of ended up becoming more of an advertisement outlet for other people and for like sales of stuff, rather than for anything that I personally wanted to make or anything that would actually push the channel in the direction that I wanted it to go. So I wrote here on the blog post that it is getting overwhelming, and it's not only hurting my channel, but it's also causing me unnecessary stress. I was constantly feeling guilty for not being able to get back to everyone. I took on way too many requests and I was struggling to find the time to make all the videos, and then I'd feel bad for, delaying things that I promised for people, all the while putting my own ideas and projects on the back burner. So that is why the year was kind of off to a very slow start for me, and why I honestly at one point just felt like giving up on YouTube and content altogether, because it was just getting me down that much. But instead, I've decided to put my foot down. I want to focus on where I want to take the channel. So basically, the headline for this blog post, and something that I'm actually sending out to everyone who reaches out to me from now on, I'm going to turn down all offers for reviews and promotions of any kind, at least for the foreseeable future. And if there are any, I promise it'll be something that I am absolutely 100% passionate about, and that I know goes in line with the direction that I want to take the channel. And we will get onto that direction very soon, and I'm very excited to share some of those upcoming plans. But it's not all bad, despite my moaning then. Out of all the videos that I've made so far, out of the 32, there were 9 that I've highlighted in green that I was genuinely excited to make. And thankfully, some of those, well, at least, let's see, 3 of them, have actually brought in a good number of subscribers and really helped to grow this channel this year as well. So I'm definitely looking to focus more on those kind of videos, and definitely a lot less on the promotional side. So hopefully you guys and girls listening feel like that is a good direction for the channel. So that covers 23 of the videos, and the rest of them that make up the 32, I just feel kind of indifferent about. They were either top games lists, which obviously help grow the channel, but unfortunately they're not really that interesting for me to make, and they're definitely not creatively fulfilling, which is something that I want to get out of this. I want to, put my creativity to use and make something that I'm proud of, and I don't really feel like I get that out of just doing top games lists, although they are useful for bringing new people in who hopefully then want to stick around and actually watch the videos that I care about. So after all that, after my change of thinking and reviewing the videos that I've made so far this year, I've actually come up with what I think to be a really great content strategy for the next several years. And I've actually got it written out on a whiteboard, which I'm going to actually have up on my wall, so I can tick these videos off as I go through the year. So without spoiling too much, because I do want to keep some of this to myself, because there are some really exciting plans. Basically, I actually changed the tagline of my channel as well recently to be celebrating the history of video games. And that is exactly where I want to take this channel, and I will not stop until I've satisfied every single idea that I've got on this list right here. So basically, for those of you listening, I have a list of all the major retro gaming consoles, from Game Boy, PlayStation, even Xbox, GameCube, SNES, Dreamcast, whatever. The entire list of consoles, even things like PC Engine, WonderSwan, Neo Geo, the whole lot. And then I actually have a list going across here of, let's see how many there are, 8. So 8 separate kind of categories, playlists, if you will, for each of those consoles. So the overall goal is to make a top games video for every single console, a hidden gems video for every single console, a history video, which is something that I'm very excited about making. I've made one so far for the WonderSwan and the Game Boy Advance, and they both went down really well, and I have to say that they are 2 of the videos that I am most proud of, and 2 of the videos that I put the most time and effort into as well, so I would love to do more of those. So I'm going to make a history video for every single console. I'm going to make a memories episode, which are also really fun. I'm actually saving those for subscriber milestones, so every time I go up by 10,000 subscribers, so the next one's going to be 40,000, I'm going to make a memories episode. The next one's going to be on the original Game Boy, so subscribe to my main RetroBreak channel if you haven't already, so you can hear that Game Boy memories episode, which I'm very excited about making. So that is the 4th video. I'm also going to be doing one called Maxed Out, which checks out some of the most impressive games for the system. Some games that either have really interesting and complex graphics or, sort of programming tricks that really push the system beyond its perceived limits. So that's going to be really interesting to do the research and to buy the games to go along with that. The next one is all about import games and games that you can play without a language barrier. I think that's another really interesting topic that not a lot of people on YouTube cover, so I'm very excited to make that. And 2 more, so we also have beta and prototypes. I would love to have a look at some of the games for systems that never actually got proper releases, or take a look at how some of the more popular games changed during the course of development. That's always really interesting to look into, and I've already got loads of ideas written down for all the games that I want to cover for that. And of course, the Nintendo leak a few years ago really helped spur my interest in that side of things, so I'm very excited to get into that. And the final thing here is the legacy of the system itself. So that's going to be talking about things like homebrew releases for the systems. It's going to be talking about modern modifications you can do for the systems, like all the different IPS screens for the Game Boys and stuff like that, and all of the mod kits you can get for more recent systems and putting the HDMI mods in there and things. That's going to be really exciting, and it's going to give me a lot of stuff that I'm going to buy and actually check out and test for the channel. And then, even more exciting than all of those individual videos, which I'm sure you will agree are all really interesting topics, and I think the audience is really going to love every single one of those topics for all of the different consoles, so I'm very excited. Then my overall plan, and this is something that I'm super excited about, I'm actually going to combine all of those videos, so all 8 different videos, into one sort of mega project called Everything You Need to Know About the Specific System. So for example, the one that I'm hoping to do first is Everything You Need to Know About the Original Game Boy, and that is going to be about a 2-hour long video that covers literally everything from the top games, the history, the legacy, everything about the system, including a few little bits to tie everything together so it doesn't really feel like just a mashup of all these previously made videos. And then what I want to do, and this is maybe getting a little bit carried away and maybe a little bit into the realms of wishing I had more time to work on this sort of stuff, but I would also like to try and make a book to accompany this Everything You Need to Know video. And then I could, sell it at shows, I could sell it online, maybe it could be up on Amazon, and it would just be called Everything You Need to Know About X, Everything You Need to Know About the Game Boy. And it would be a big historically accurate book that covers everything you need to know about the system. It would start off with the history, it would go into the defining games, it would talk about all of the different console variations, all of the homebrew and fan support over the years, and it's just something I'm super excited and super passionate about, and I feel like it's going to be a really great direction to take the channel and to take RetroBreak as a brand as well. So fingers crossed everyone's as excited as I am for that, and I really think it's also going to help my attitude towards making videos on my channel, because if we get this right, every single video I should be excited to make. So we'll see how it goes, but there we go. There's my plans. There is a lot more that I would like to go into in terms of content creation, but I'll probably save that for another episode. So I really hope you enjoyed having a bit of a listen to my channel analysis so far in 2023, and hopefully after this you're even more excited than ever about the future of the channel. As for the future of the podcast, I haven't really decided how this fits in with everything else just yet, because I do want to focus everything on growing my main channel, so hopefully I can find a way of using this podcast to actually improve the content on the main channel. Maybe use this as sort of supplementary material, maybe use it as me talking through some of the ideas that I've got, maybe talking about some of the research that I've done so far. There's so many ways I could take this, but still make it interesting as a podcast on its own. So hopefully I figure that out, and hopefully there's a lot more episodes coming soon. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I'll leave you all now to get on with the rest of your day. Hopefully you're having a great day wherever you are in the world and whatever time of day it is. And I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye.